Welcome back to US Coins World, the ultimate destination for coin collectors and treasure hunters. Today, we're diving into a classic piece of American history, the Washington quarter dollar. From its intricate design to hidden rare varieties, this coin has fascinated collectors for decades. Stay tuned, because we'll explore its history, unique features, and why some versions of this quarter are highly sought after by coin enthusiasts. You never know, you might be holding a small piece of history in your pocket. Top 1. Today we're talking about a Washington quarter that many people have spent without a second thought, yet a very rare version of it has shocked collectors around the world. This is the United States Washington quarter from 1965, a coin that looks ordinary but hides extraordinary possibilities. Listen very carefully, because what you're about to hear can completely change the way you look at your pocket change. The year 1965 is one of the most important turning points in American coin history. This was the first year the United States stopped using silver in quarters meant for circulation and switched to a copper-nickel-clad composition. Because of this major transition, the 1965 Washington quarter was produced during a time of massive change, pressure, and urgency at the mint. When changes like this happen, mistakes follow, and those mistakes are exactly what collectors hunt for. Most 1965 quarters you see today are common and worth only face value. But a very small number were struck on the wrong metal planchets, including leftover silver blanks that were never supposed to be used after 1964. These rare transitional error coins look similar at first glance, but they feel heavier, sound different when dropped, and show a solid silver edge instead of the normal copper stripe. Finding a 1965 quarter struck on a silver planchet is like finding a needle in a haystack. Another reason this coin excites collectors is the presence of dramatic minting errors. Some examples show strong double dies where the lettering and date appear doubled under magnification. Others were struck off-center, clipped, or with misaligned layers, creating coins that look completely different from standard issues. These errors were never meant to leave the mint, yet a few escaped and ended up in circulation. Condition also plays a huge role. A rare error coin in poor shape may be interesting, but one in near-perfect or uncirculated condition becomes a dream find. Sharp details, full hairlines on Washington's portrait, clean fields, and no signs of wear can multiply the value many times over. Professional grading is often what confirms whether a coin is just unusual or truly historic. What makes this quarter especially fascinating for collectors is that it comes from a year when people were hoarding silver coins. The mint was rushing to meet demand, machines were adjusted constantly, and quality control wasn't perfect. That chaotic environment is why some of the most valuable modern-era error coins come from 1965. Collectors around the world actively search rolls, old collections, and inherited coin jars hoping to find this exact quarter. Many experts believe more examples could still be out there, quietly hiding in plain sight. That's why coin lovers listen closely when this coin is mentioned, because knowledge is the first step to discovery. Now for the moment that makes this coin legendary. A genuine 1965 Washington quarter with the correct rare characteristics, verified error, and high-grade condition has sold for as much as $64,000. Yes, a single quarter with the right story, the right mistake, and the right condition can be worth $64,000. Top 2. We're talking about a Washington quarter that most people completely ignore, yet certain rare examples have become legends among collectors. This is the United States Washington quarter from 1967, a coin that looks simple, but carries secrets that can make it incredibly valuable. The year 1967 sits right in the middle of one of the most confusing and chaotic periods in modern U.S. coinage. Silver had already been removed from quarters a few years earlier, but the public was still hoarding old silver coins. To discourage collecting and hoarding, the U.S. Mint removed mint marks entirely from coins between 1965 and 1967. That decision alone makes coins from this era unique, and it also created the perfect conditions for unusual minting mistakes. Most 1967 Washington quarters were struck in massive numbers and circulated heavily. But a very small number were struck under abnormal conditions, creating rare and valuable errors. Some of the most desirable examples show strong double die features, where the date, lettering, or Washington's profile appears doubled under magnification. These doubling errors happen during the die creation process and cannot be duplicated later, which makes them extremely collectible. Another reason this coin excites serious collectors is the presence of off-metal and wrong planchet errors. During this period, leftover silver blanks and foreign planchets were sometimes mixed into production lines by accident. A 1967 quarter struck on an incorrect planchet can weigh differently, look unusual, and feel completely wrong in the hand. These transitional style errors are among the most difficult to find and are highly prized when authenticated. There are also dramatic striking errors that push this coin into elite territory. Off-center strikes, broad strikes, clipped planchets, and misaligned layers can turn a normal-looking quarter into a one-of-a-kind collectible. The more visible and dramatic the error, the stronger the demand from collectors who specialize in mint mistakes. Condition plays a massive role in value as well. A rare error coin with heavy wear will always be interesting, but one that survives in uncirculated or near-perfect condition becomes something truly special. Crisp details, clean surfaces, and full design elements can elevate a coin from collectible to museum-worthy. Professional grading often separates ordinary examples from record-breaking ones. What makes the 1967 Washington quarter especially fascinating is that many of these rare coins may still be hiding in old collections, forgotten jars, or inherited rolls. Because there are no mint marks to draw attention, these quarters are often overlooked, even by people who handle coins regularly. That's why experienced collectors inspect every 1967 quarter they find. This coin teaches an important lesson for coin lovers: value isn't always about age or silver content. Sometimes, it's about timing, mistakes, and survival. The 1967 Washington quarter represents a moment when the U.S. Mint was under pressure, and history was being stamped at full speed. Now for the number that makes this coin unforgettable. A verified 1967 Washington quarter with the right rare error, correct weight, and top-tier condition has reached values as high as $69,000. Yes, a single quarter from 1967, with the right characteristics, can be worth $69,000. Top 3. We're talking about a Washington quarter that most people overlook without a second thought. This is the United States Washington quarter from 1971, a coin that seems common on the surface but becomes incredibly rare when the right details come together. By 1971, the United States had fully transitioned into the copper-nickel-clad era. Quarters were no longer made of silver, and many collectors stopped paying close attention to newer coins. That lack of attention is exactly what allowed some of the most fascinating minting errors of the modern era to slip through unnoticed. While millions of 1971 quarters were struck, only a tiny number survived with the special characteristics that collectors now chase aggressively. One of the most important factors that makes a 1971 Washington quarter valuable is minting error. Some examples show strong double die features, where the date, the word Liberty, or the motto "In God We Trust" appear doubled when viewed under magnification. These errors occur during the creation of the die itself, meaning every coin struck from that die carries the same mistake, making them official and highly collectible. Another rare and exciting category includes off-metal and wrong planchet strikes. During production, planchets intended for other denominations or even foreign coins were sometimes fed into quarter presses by accident. A 1971 quarter struck on an incorrect planchet will feel lighter or heavier than normal, may have an unusual color, and often displays weak or incomplete design details. These coins immediately stand out to experienced collectors. Striking errors also play a major role in value. Off-center strikes, broad strikes, clipped planchets, and misaligned layers can transform a regular quarter into a dramatic visual piece. The more obvious and well-preserved the error, the more desirable the coin becomes. Collectors love coins that tell a story at first glance, and error coins do exactly that. Condition is equally critical. A rare error coin in worn condition is interesting, but one that remains in uncirculated or near-perfect state is on an entirely different level. Sharp details on Washington's hair, clean fields, strong rims, and original mint luster can push a coin into elite collector territory. This is where professional grading becomes essential, separating true rarities from ordinary finds. What makes the 1971 Washington quarter especially intriguing is how easily it can still be missed. Many people assume newer coins have no value, so they never inspect them closely. Yet collectors know that some of the most expensive modern coins come from years like this, when errors were overlooked and quietly entered circulation, this coin is a perfect reminder that rarity isn't always about age or precious metal. Sometimes, it's about a moment in time when mistakes slipped through the system and survived long enough to be discovered decades later. That's why serious collectors never ignore a single quarter. Now for the moment that every coin lover waits for. A genuine 1971 Washington quarter with the correct rare error, verified authenticity, and outstanding condition has reached values as high as $73,000. Yes, a single quarter from 1971 can be worth $73,000. Top 4. We're diving into a coin that many collectors might overlook at first glance, but which holds incredible value for those who know what to look for. This is the United States Washington quarter from 1974, a coin that seems ordinary but has a rare side that makes it highly sought after among serious collectors. Listen very carefully, because this is one coin you won't want to miss. The year 1974 was part of the modern copper-nickel-clad era, a time when quarters were no longer made from silver. Millions of quarters were minted that year, and for most people, these coins are just everyday change. But within this sea of ordinary coins, a few rare errors and unusual strikes emerged, creating some of the most valuable examples in modern U.S. coin collecting. One of the main reasons the 1974 Washington quarter can be so valuable is double die errors. These occur when the coin die is improperly stamped during the minting process, causing details like the date, Liberty, or the motto "In God We Trust" to appear doubled under magnification. These errors are not accidental reproductions, they are officially produced mistakes that only a very small fraction of coins carry. Collectors prize these coins because every coin from that die is unique and cannot be replicated. Another fascinating category is off-metal or wrong planchet strikes. Occasionally, planchets intended for other denominations or leftover experimental blanks were fed into the quarter presses. The result? Coins that feel slightly heavier or lighter, show unusual coloring, or display weak or incomplete design details. These rare anomalies immediately catch the eye of experienced collectors, making them incredibly desirable. Striking errors also play a huge role in the value of 1974 quarters. Coins with off-center strikes, broad strikes, clipped planchets, or misaligned layers are dramatic and visually striking. These errors make the coin not just a piece of currency, but a story frozen in metal, a piece of minting history that survived decades to tell its tale. Condition is another critical factor. Even the rarest error coin will lose value if it is worn or damaged. But a 1974 Washington quarter preserved in near-perfect, uncirculated condition, with crisp details, clean surfaces, and original luster, becomes the ultimate prize for collectors. Professional grading can take a coin from interesting to elite, confirming its authenticity and making it a must-have for any serious collection. What makes this coin even more exciting is that many of these rare varieties are still hiding in old coin jars, forgotten rolls, or inherited collections. Because the coin seems ordinary at first glance, it can easily escape notice. That's why collectors carefully inspect every 1974 quarter they find, because you never know when a small mistake can turn into a major discovery. This coin is a perfect reminder that value isn't always about age or precious metal content. Sometimes, it's about timing, minting errors, and the survival of a coin that should have been lost to circulation. The 1974 Washington quarter shows us that even the most ordinary coins can hold extraordinary potential. And now, for the reveal every coin collector waits for, a 1974 Washington quarter with the right rare error, exceptional condition, and verified authenticity has reached a value as high as $79,000. Yes, a single 1974 quarter can be worth $79,000. Top 5. We're diving into a Washington quarter that might look common at first, but holds incredible value for those who know its secrets. This is the United States Washington quarter from 1981, a coin that carries rarity, history, and errors that make it a true collector's dream. Listen very carefully, because this is one coin you'll want to examine closely if you ever come across it. The year 1981 was part of the modern copper-nickel-clad era, a time when Washington quarters were widely circulated and often overlooked by collectors. Millions of these coins were minted, yet hidden among them are a few rare variations and striking errors that can dramatically increase their value. These mistakes weren't intended, but their survival makes them some of the most exciting coins for collectors today. One of the key features that makes the 1981 Washington quarter highly sought after is the presence of double die errors. These errors occur during the creation of the coin die, causing the date, the word liberty, or the motto "In God We Trust" to appear doubled under magnification. These subtle but dramatic anomalies are highly prized because they are impossible to replicate and instantly distinguish a coin from its standard counterparts. Another fascinating aspect of some 1981 quarters is the occurrence of off-metal or wrong planchet strikes. During the minting process, leftover planchets or experimental blanks occasionally ended up in production presses, resulting in coins that feel heavier or lighter, or display unusual colors and textures. These rare anomalies are a magnet for collectors, as each coin tells a story of the mint's busy and sometimes chaotic production environment. Striking errors also add to the allure of this coin. Off-center strikes, broad strikes, clipped planchets, and misaligned layers can transform a regular quarter into a one-of-a-kind collectible. Coins like these are not just currency, they are physical pieces of minting history that survived the test of time, and each error makes the coin more intriguing and valuable. Condition is another critical factor in determining the worth of a 1981 Washington quarter. Even the rarest error coin loses appeal if it is heavily worn or damaged. But a coin that has remained in near-perfect, uncirculated condition, with sharp details, clean surfaces, and original luster, can reach astonishing values. Professional grading separates the ordinary from the extraordinary, confirming authenticity and unlocking true market potential. What makes the 1981 Washington quarter particularly exciting is that many of these rare coins could still be hiding in rolls, old coin jars, or collections that have been untouched for decades. Because the coin appears ordinary at first glance, it often goes unnoticed, making it a hidden treasure waiting to be discovered by a patient and observant collector. This coin is a perfect reminder that value isn't always tied to age or silver content. Sometimes, rarity is born from timing, minting mistakes, and survival. The 1981 Washington quarter proves that even coins from recent decades can hold extraordinary potential for collectors who know what to look for. And now for the moment every coin lover has been waiting for. A verified 1981 Washington quarter with the right rare error, exceptional condition, and authentication has reached a staggering value of $87,000. Yes, a single 1981 quarter can be worth $87,000. If you enjoyed this fascinating journey into one of America's hidden treasures, make sure to like the video, subscribe to US Coins World, and turn on notifications so you never miss another incredible discovery. Keep examining your coins carefully, because sometimes, history and fortune are hiding in the most ordinary places.